back to another episode of Behind the Mic. Today I am here with FabuRocks. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Gabe. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for being on. So let's get into it. So for those who haven't heard your Just Taco Game interview, tell us about yourself.
First off, I'm Fabu. I'm a podcaster, streamer, I'm a content creator. Um, I use gaming as a form of therapy for my ADHD, and I love roller skating. And I just graduated from middle school recently, and I'm 14.
Oh, congratulations on your graduation.
Thank you.
All right, so let's start off with your name. How did you pick FabuRocks?
Well, long story short, FabuRocks, Fabu has been always my nickname. My family has always called me Fabu. Fabu is short for fabulous, and in Spanish, fabulosa. And rocks is not only that I rock, but also when I was younger, I used to collect rocks like crazy. Whenever we went somewhere, I would collect it and put it in a jar. And a week later, if you ever asked me where I got that rock, I would tell you exactly how I got it and where. And recently, I just created a new social called It's Me Fabu. And yeah.
It's kind of funny about the whole rock thing because I actually used to collect rocks as well. I have
Really?
send my mom out to get me rocks. I have this giant collection somewhere in my room. I think got to go find it one day.
Same. I have this like whole jar set of like rocks, and I can't like I forgot all of the rocks where they're from.
All right. So, like you said earlier, you're a content creator and a gamer. How did you get started with all of that?
I started in the industry as a form of therapy for my ADHD and speech delay. When I was younger, I was diagnosed with ADHD, and I was also had very severe speech delay. So I and traditional therapy wasn't really working for me because I had ADHD and I couldn't focus and I didn't like what they were doing and I was uninterested. So my parents decided a unique aspect and something to do other than the traditional therapy was to do something I loved. And I, like any kid, I wanted to be a YouTuber. So they were like, let's do YouTube. And that's how I started in this industry. And then it ended up being gaming and to then streaming.
Right. So, actually, going into that further, you're like one of the youngest content creators on stuff like YouTube, Mixer, Twitch. Like, how did that happen?
Well, I started my therapy journey at 7 years old. And then at 9, I started streaming. I started streaming on Twitch. Twitch back then, you could stream under 13 with parents present. Now you cannot, like, with no circumstance. You have to be over 13. So I started streaming on Twitch and I grew a lot of attention and I became the one of the youngest streamers on that platform because back then there was not a lot of streamers, young streamers. So after getting a lot of attention on Twitch, I got a lot of hate. And like I said, I did this for therapy, so I moved to another platform because I didn't want all that drama. And I moved to Mixer. Mixer back then was a very young platform. It was right now, like currently it's like shut down, but it was created by Microsoft. Mixer, after streaming there, I got a lot of attention and I became one of the youngest partners. After shutdown, Facebook Gaming offered contracts to very few Mixer partners, and I was one of them. So I switched to Facebook Gaming and became the youngest there. So yeah, that's a little backstory on how I became the youngest on all these platforms.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, in addition to streaming, like you mentioned earlier, you're also a podcaster. So, tell us about that.
I'm I'm a host to this podcast called the FabuRocks podcast. I'm the host. I talk to my parents. I ask them questions about my story because they have a unique perspective of the parent's perspective. And we really wanted to use that podcast to help other parents with kids who have ADHD or another disability, and they could use therapy to help them other than traditional therapy. So I asked them questions, and I was very young when all of this happened, so I don't really remember much. Soon I will be creating the ADHD with Fabu podcast, where I basically have a conversation with my mom, basically talking about ADHD struggles, and how to overcome them and other strategies to help with those struggles. And my mom, she has ADHD as well, and she has a master's in mental health. So it provides another perspective too, as well.
That's definitely really, really cool. Where can you find the podcast?
You can find the podcast at basically anywhere you could think of. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, just search up FabuRocks podcast anywhere and you will find it. Promise you.
Okay, all right. Now, I know I actually had like a question for Miss Cleo, your dog, but she's not. I don't know if she's
Oh my
there.
gosh, she's like right now laying
She's
on
laying
me.
there.
Look.
Hey, there she is.
Oh my god.
Show everybody there. Why do you turn your back to her? Because like my dog does the same thing.
You
And
know
I'm just
what?
confused.
She is
Like,
so evil to me. I
yeah,
don't know why. Like I feed her, I walk her, I give like she sleeps with me. Like she mistreats me, bro. She loves my parents. Like loves them. She would always love to like cuddle with them when we're watching TV. Like I don't know why. I don't know why. She prefers them always. Look at her.
my dog does the same thing. Because like no matter what I do to him, he'll just look at me, and then if I annoy him, he'll just turn around and has his
Yeah,
back to me. I'm like, what did I do?
I don't know.
I
Or
don't know.
like when I mess with her in her position and she gets all mad at me and leaves and ignores me.
Yeah, it's just so weird. All
Yeah.
right. So I know I asked this before on the podcast, but I'm gonna ask it again. Like, if you could design your own video game, what would that be?
I could design my own video game. Honestly, it would be so colorful. It would be crazy. It would be like real life scenarios as well. My main character would have ADHD, and I have this image of like aliens crashing into the earth, and she needs to survive, kind of like Last of Us kind of style. She needs to survive and help her family, and it would be really funny if she has like ADHD and she forgets things as easily as like me. I have like both combined type of ADHD, but she would have more like distractive ADHD type. And it would be really funny. Like, for example, whenever I'm watching TV or a movie and a character asks the main character to remember this like long code to save the earth or something like that, my parents would always joke that I would forget it and forget the code. And I would just like, Earth would be doomed. And I'm like, that's so true. Like, you cannot depend on me to remember like a code because I will forget it. But yeah.
Honestly, yeah, I'm the same way. If you tell me to memorize something outside of a script, there's a good chance I'm just not gonna do it, or I'm gonna forget. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
can't
the world would be
improvise.
doomed.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the most absurd thing that you've ever tricked someone into believing?
Okay, I'm gonna be truths to you, Gabe. I am a really bad liar. You could tell when I'm lying. So, and especially like if I'm tricking like a kid, like, oh, monsters are real, I just can't do it because I feel so bad because then they actually believe me. So I don't think I've ever done anything because if I do it to someone my age or older, they will just know I'm lying because I am like horrible at lying.
Or I am too. I am too. Like it's hard.
Yeah, it is hard.
Right? I know. What would you say is the worst color ever invented?
Worst color ever invented? I don't know. I think maybe like, oh, orange. I really don't like orange.
Really?
Oh
Why
my
not?
God. You could tell my parents how many times I do not like orange. Whenever they get like when I'm like, if you ever buy me a car and it's orange, I'm sorry. I'm gonna be really upset. Like it could just be black or white, just regular color. I really don't like orange.
What? That is like not a color like you hear often people say they dislike, but like, all right. So like on the flip side, what would you say is the best color?
Oh, the best color? I love red. I like a cobalt blue and a red. I really love those two colors.
Okay, I can get behind that. Yeah, because like my
Yeah.
favorite is green, but yeah, I can get behind that.
Yeah, but not the orange part, not the orange
Not the
part.
orange
Not
part.
the orange.
Okay. All right. So, who would you ever trade lives with for a day?
I honestly, if I could trade lives with someone, I will probably trade lives with someone who doesn't have ADHD, who doesn't have anything. They're just completely like normal in that sense. Because like it's I don't know, ADHD it sucks just like always being procrastinating, always forgetting things, and it would just be so cool to just live in that and experience that, you know. Honestly, I would never switch lives with someone because, you know, ADHD is who I am today, you know? But I would love to experience that.
Right. See, I would probably switch with my dog just so I can nap all day.
That it,
Like,
that's a good one. That
yeah,
is a good one. I haven't thought about that. Just like no responsibilities. You just eat, sleep. That's
that's
it.
it. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, it'd be a great day,
It
definitely.
would be a great day.
Yeah. All right. So, actually, speaking of days, what does a day in the life of Fabu even look like?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I wake up, I have this schedule, and I have like this to-do list to do. And half of the time, I just do basically half of the to do. You know, I don't do all of the list that I need to do. And I procrastinate and I leave all of like half of the things to do later. So I wake up, if we're gonna go literal, I brush my teeth, I go shower, I eat breakfast, and then when done with that, I'm around like 10 a.m. And then if it's like school season, I do homework for like a good 4 hours. But like currently, you know, it's summer. I do reels and then I make scripts until I eat lunch. And then I go stream. I stream around like 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then after I'm done with streaming, I go eat dinner, make dinner and eat dinner. And then I hang out with the fam. I just like go chill and watch TV.
Okay, that's pretty chill day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, already ahead of me, you can actually make dinner. I just have to put something in the microwave and hope it tastes good. So,
Well, you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. My parents make the dinner. I just set the table and I'm there for support. I
yeah,
keep
it's
the
emotional
company. I
support.
keep the
Yeah.
company.
You keep
That's
the
what I always
company.
tell them.
Yeah, I do that too. Definitely. My grandma, because she makes all the food.
Yeah.
If she's not there, I'll just starve.
Yeah, that's true. Like there's moments when my parents like leave and to do some like tasks and stuff, and I'm like home and I have to make lunch. I'm like, there's no food. What do I make? I make a pack of ramen and that's it.
It's good enough. It's food.
That's good enough, you know?
Yeah. All right. If you have one person to give a shout out to, who is it?
I'm gonna have to be honest. I have to give a shout out to my parents. You know, they're out here supporting me emotionally, financially. Like who else could I give a shout out to? And especially as like a young content creator, I feel like you really need your parents' support. You
Yeah.
know, like all these celebrities, like most of them have their parents' support. You know, and these as a young content creator you need like the setup, you know, you need a setup, you need a good camera when you stream or when you make content, so you really do need your parent support, so I definitely got to give a shout out to my parents.
All right. All right. My final question. What's next for you?
Well, what's next to me next for me, I do have a lot of goals this year. For example, I'm actually writing a book series. The book series is about the ages are between 6 to 14. I'm going to be writing like 4 books. And basically, those books are about how I use therapy as a tool and to help with my ADHD, how I use gaming as a tool for my ADHD. And I think my books will be very like in the child perspective, not so like literal. And you know, all those books about ADHD are very like professional and from like a I don't know, like very big words. So it's going to be the child perspective. It's going to be fun and it's going to be more educational, but also not like so hard to like pick up on and read. And another goal is to travel a lot more. I do want to travel to more conventions and to meet more people, in those conventions. And also, yeah, and continue what I'm doing, try to grow a larger audience to talk more about ADHD and empower more people.
All right. Congratulations on everything. Definitely keep us posted on those books. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Gabe. It was awesome being here with you. Thank you
Awesome.
for having me.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, wait, by the way, say hi to Charlie for me.
All right. Will do. Will do. All
See ya.
right. See ya.
Bye, guys.
Bye.